This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, celebrating 25 years of educating Southwest Florida.
Welcome back, Southwest Florida. We're so thrilled to be here at the City of Cape Coral Police Department. And like I said, we had fantastic accommodations. They rolled out the red carpet for Lee Pitts Live. And we will be here for the next 4 weeks right here on Fox 4. So keep it locked. This gentleman sitting right here next to me is a decorated police officer, the chief of police for Cape Coral.
Good to see you again.
Good to have you here as well, Chief Connelly. First of all, what's it like to have Lee Pitts Live like right here in the police department? What does that do for public relations? What does that do just to let people know the Cape Coral Police Department is here for the public, right?
You know, that's been one of our guiding principles for years. We've always worked with the community, very closely with the community, and to have you here with us is just absolutely fantastic, and we appreciate you coming here. I'm looking forward to the time you're going to spend with us.
Glad to be here, man, and like I said, it's just been great working with Dana and all the people who made this happen. One of the things that you've been very passionate about is building a world-class police department. Right now, how would you classify it in terms of reaching that world-class status? How you feeling about what we got here?
Well, I'd say we have always for years, we talked about community programs, and we've always worked with the community in forming a department that meets the needs of our community, and also a diverse workforce that comparable to the demographics of the community. And we're working on that. We've got a great recruitment team, great hiring team that does that. And just later on today, we're swearing in 7 new police officers, and we're proud to bring them up. They went through a very rigorous and tough hiring process, and that's one of the first things we look for in professionalism is to hire the qualified, best people that you can find. And we may put out a posting and get 200 applications, and out of that, we may only hire 7 people. That's how selective we are.
And that's how you weed it down to having some quality policing going on. Because we're seeing some not so quality policing going on around the country from time to time. You know, things have to play out. Me and you may get into some of that later on. But let's go to, you said that you hired 7 new police officers. What is the maximum? I mean, do you have opening still, people interested in employment, they can go to that website we have on the screen and that phone number? You still have some opening spots for law enforcement?
Lee, we always have openings. We have people who move on in their lives, careers. We have people who retire.
Right.
So through the attrition, we always will have openings. Rarely we're all the way full. Right now we're close. We have 226 sworn officers, and we've got about 3 openings at this point. So I urge those to call in and give themselves that opportunity to work with a fine organization.
Okay, now we talked about police officers, people on the ground, people who patrol officers, and so on. Are there other employment opportunities as well with the city of Cape Coral Police Department?
Absolutely. We have positions that are non-sworn positions. That could be a position in records, communications, a dispatcher position. We have public service aides, officers or people who wear a uniform, a different uniform, and patrol throughout the city and may write traffic tickets and write reports of a non-emergency nature. And then we have support personnel such as administrative staff and things as well.
And one of the things I noticed just in coming here this morning, I saw a lot of volunteers. People that can volunteer as well.
We have a volunteer contingent of 180 people.
That's outstanding.
I'm just so proud of them. And they will patrol not only on our roadways, also on our waterways. They perform tasks here in the station with us, and they also perform tasks at the City Hall. So it's a great group of people.
Before we go forward, I want you to back up a little bit. You said that these people who you're going to hire, the 7 people you're swearing in, that they had gone through a rigorous process. Sesame Street that for me. Not all the details, but what are some basic things before they get sworn in, some things they have gone through that we can have a respect for the quality of training that they have?
I tell you, it's a very, very tough process. First they take a written test. It's a very tough written test. Once they pass that, then they do a physical endurance test. They have to actually go out and run and jump and go over fences and do that sort of a thing. Then they have to come back and actually do a swim test. And we have so much water here in Cape Coral, they have to be able to swim. Once they pass the swim test, we put them in an oral interview. And they're in front of people across the table, and it's a little stressful for them, and they have to pass that interview. And then, of course, we have to see that they're a person of integrity and have a good background. We conduct a very, very comprehensive background investigation. They have to pass the lie detector test, and also a medical exam. At the very end, they have an interview with either myself or the deputy chief. So through that process, they're the best of the best.
Call that deputy chief name. Give him some publicity.
Deputy Chief David Newland.
Okay, I've seen his name on email. I want you to get some love, David. I've given Dana some love. You mentioned diversity early on, but let's dig into diversity. The challenges of having a diverse police force, and why is it important that we do have a diverse gender and race diversity in law enforcement?
Well, we've always thought that's important. We've been an accredited organization nationally since 1989, and that's a standard we've had since that time. Recently, you've seen things happen across this country. You've seen the President's 21st Century Report that he put out recommending that organizations have a workforce that mirrors the demographic of their community. We've done that for years, and we feel that's very, very important. Now, I personally don't feel that every officer has to be of that particular ethnicity or race to patrol that particular area, but you have to have a mixture. You have to have a very good mixture to complement your organization and complement the community to work better together.
And it also serves as role models, too, for little kids. I remember when I was a kid, when I saw police officers that looked like me. Of course, when you're a little kid, you want to be a police officer. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to be one now, but I got a job. Cecil Carter is unemployed.
But if I may add, Ravi, it's not only in terms of ethnicity or race, but also gender. We have 9 officers attending the police academy right now, and 5 of those are female officers or female candidates.
That's great. Now, you have a high focus now on DUIs and the DUI operations?
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Talk
do.
about that.
We've always had problems in our city due to the layout of the roadways and so forth with traffic problems, one of them being DUIs. And it's not only a problem here, it's of course a national issue. People are getting killed and injured every day on our roadways for DUIs. And we recently received several grants from the Florida Department of Transportation to allow us to conduct operations beyond our normal budgeting operations to cut down on the number of impaired drivers on our roadways. And we think that's very, very important. Right now, Lee, have got, let me go back. Last year, we had approximately 36 serious traffic crashes or deaths. And this is very serious.
DUI related?
Well, not all DUI,
Texting
DUI related.
too, right?
Texting, impaired, the whole thing.
Impaired, what falls under impaired?
Well, you have not only alcohol, you have narcotics.
Okay.
Right now, we have got 36 so far this year, only 6 months into the year. So we're seeing an increase in those things. So the City Council has worked with us and providing us additional resources. We're going to put 3 more traffic officers on the road this next year, and we're also freeing up time with our patrol officers to also conduct more traffic operations.
That's excellent. What happens if you let people know, what happens to them if they get caught in a DUI situation, how bad that is?
Well, I tell you, right now, I said this to my staff the other day, not only in DUI, but other traffic infractions, we're going to stop on the warnings. DUIs, we've always arrested. That's never been a warning. The other things, no more warnings. We're going to start writing tickets. We're getting too many people hurt, too many aggressive drivers, too many speeders. As far as a DUI, you're going to get arrested. Yeah, you're going to go to Lee County Jail. You're going to be processed and go through the judicial system. And hopefully we'll run to a prosecution, and the person will face the penalties of a first-time DUI offense. And, of course, they get a second and third time, the penalties are increased.
Mm-hmm. Now, you talked early on about the increase in DUIs. How about the crime rate in the city of Cape Coral? How does that look, and how do you feel about where it was last year and what the trends look like now?
We still remain, Lee, the second safest city in the state of Florida with a population of over 150,000 people. Very safe city.
What's the most safest, by the way?
Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
And I saw the chief several months ago, and I said we're coming after him.
All right. Second safest city in the whole state of Florida with that population.
With that population.
That's
absolutely.
Beautiful.
And we do that not only through our efforts. We use statistics and a method to our madness. We don't just send officers out haphazardly. We attack crime where crime is occurring, and we have a method to that. But our success is not only the hard work of our men and women out there, but also, as we talked about earlier, the relationships with the community. If you can't work with members of your community in your jurisdictions, you will not have a successful police organization. Mm-hmm. And that is what has made us successful.
What are some partnerships you building with the community? What are some community organizations you met with, talked to continue to let them know that you have an open ear to what's going on in the community, and also that open ear can help in crime prevention?
I've done 2 things. We've always had a number of those type of programs. What I've done recently is have town hall meetings. And we will advertise, and I will meet in different parts of the city where people can come and talk with me on their turf. not coming to the police department. They feel more comfortable.
Okay.
It can be in a group setting, and we can hash out issues and talk about issues, and they can provide me input on what's good and what's bad. And I want to hear the bad. I don't want to hear all the good. Secondly, I have a Public Safety Advisory Committee. We met yesterday, as a matter of fact, representatives of demographics throughout the community who bring information to me from their respective areas, and then I give that information back down to them to pass down to members of the community.
And finally, before I let you go, is there any way, I know we got a website on the screen, a phone number that's on the screen that people can call for employment opportunities and so on. Is there any way that people can get information to the Cape Coral Police Department discreetly if they want to report something and don't have to worry about people knowing that they told on somebody or something like that?
Well, we have the Crime Stoppers program. That's always out there. It's a 1-800 number. I don't know it off the top of my head, but there's a 1-800 number for Crime Stoppers, and that information does filter to us. But if you were just to call us at 574-3223, that's 574-3223, that's a non-emergency number. Say that you want to report a crime, you want to report something that's occurring, you don't want to mention your name, you want it to remain anonymous, we can accommodate you through that number as well.
Outstanding. Well, Chief, let me bump you out. And thanks again for joining us on Lee Pitts Live and welcoming us out here.
Thank you so much for
All
having
right,
me.
stay right there. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like the chief for the City of Cape Coral, Bart, Connelly, and all the fine people at the City of Cape Coral Police Department who are doing it. We'll be right back. We'll get a chance to find out about this outstanding high school in our community.